Hey guys, we're Adam and Steph, and we're nearing the end of our second year converting this old retired school bus into our dream tiny home on wheels. In this video, we are so excited to share with you that we finally built our bed frame and spent the first couple nights sleeping inside of our bus. As we snuggle up in our future home, we thought it would be fun to answer all your burning questions in our first Q&A video. But before we get started, let's get to building this bed. So we have a little bit of a dilemma with the bed, and we knew we were going to run into this issue. In order to get a queen size bed to fit into here, we're going to have to eat up a little bit of our bathroom doorway. So it's sticking out a little bit like this, but we are having a self-cleaning bathroom door like all those nice fan builds have. And so that's going to live here when it's rolled up. I can only imagine it's going to take up a little bit of room, at least that much. And I don't know if it's worth cutting off the corner, or I feel like we can decide that after. So I think we'll just leave it like this for now, build out the rest of the frame, put the bed slats on, and then pretty much it.
How you doing?
Cutting some pieces of wood for our bed frame.
So again, we've got a 2x4 this way mounted on the wall, and then we're putting a 2x2 so that it has more surface area for the slats to go on top. Alright, so we got these bed slats from IKEA. They're queen size bed slats because we've got a queen size bed. And hopefully they'll help with having such a thin mattress. I think we're going to go with a 5 or 6 inch memory foam mattress. These boards have a little bit of a bow to them, so, hopefully they, I don't know.
Thought you believed in them.
Give us some more support. I don't know. Trying to be as comfortable as possible here.
They're just like springboards.
Yeah, we'll see. And hopefully they're not clackety clack clack down the road. Every time we build something, the space gets smaller and smaller.
We've decided to use screws to hold these slats in place.
The proper way to do it would be to put wooden dowels here, and then you pull and stretch the last slat over there. But we don't have dowels, so we're just going to use screws.
Just like that.
I'm sleeping.
Stephanie sleeps with her eyes open. She's not sleeping.
Why do you have to tell them my secrets?
Insert clip of Stephanie actually sleeping.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa!
We have a bed.
Wow. This is comfortable.
Good morning.
First night in the bus. Let's make our bed. Adam's grandparents are sleeping over tonight, so they're in our bed, and we were like, oh, we'll just sleep in the bus. And we thought we would do a Q&A, so let's do a Q&A.
We've been trying to predict when we would be ready for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
We thought when we started, we'd be done in like 8 months.
yeah,
Didn't even have the outside done yet. Thought, okay, the next summer,
yeah.
that's passed. Then we said winter. It's winter right now. What's our new prediction?
By the spring.
Yeah.
We planned on being done by the beginning of January or the end of this year, like December, so that we could make it to Schooly-Palooza, but I don't think that's happening anymore. We were really trying to be done for Schooly-Palooza. You know, our first destination hasn't really been determined yet. Our route hasn't been determined yet
No.
because we don't really know when we're gonna be done. If it's done in the spring, then we'll probably just stick around in Canada because, you know, it's warmer in Canada in the spring and summertime. Yeah.
We want to see everything. Like, really, it's hard to pin down one place everywhere. Yeah, that's a very broad thing, but we really do want to go everywhere.
Yeah. I want to go all the way to the Arctic Circle, and I want to go as far south as the roads take us. We want everyone and anyone to come and hang out with us in our bus. We're building a dinette that'll turn into a guest bed, and so that'll be a nice comfy spot for anyone who wants to come with us. The more people, the merrier. We want to share our experiences with anyone who, you know, wants to come with us, and it would just be so exciting for us to share experiences with our friends and family.
The whole point of this kind of lifestyle is to be around people and share experiences, and yeah, doors always open.
Yeah.
For me, it'd be like freedom, not being tied to a city or a place, and just kind of going with the flow and being able to live wherever I want to live.
Yeah. The most exciting part for me is not having to build this bus anymore.
The paint, I'd say the paint would be the most difficult thing.
We spent so much time sanding the bus and taking, you know, all the light fixtures and all the mirrors and everything off of the bus so we can get like the best paint job we could with, you know, all the resources that we had. Like, obviously we didn't have a shop or anything at the time to paint and have the perfect conditions, so we did it in our back laneway, and we were dealing with, you know, weather and humidity and temperature and dust and bugs and everything
Yeah.
comes into
Time.
play. Yeah.
It's such a big vehicle, so you're trying to spray paint it one day, and the next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock at night, and then the humidity's coming in,
Yeah.
and it was just a real pain.
Oh yeah, that was probably the most difficult and the most time-consuming project.
The whole time through doing it, I was just like, I'm just going to roll it next time. I'm just going to roll it. I'd say the skylight.
Yeah.
The skylight turned out like so good. It was something that I made up in my head. I just made it up.
Yeah.
We wanted a solution to a problem that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what if we just squared off the roof? I have a lot of these ridiculous ideas. Usually they don't pan out as well as this one did.
It was only because we had really planned it out and like drew it on paper and like measured everything and like
Yeah.
got a list of materials of what we needed. So basically it was just like following instructions. And, which is so flattering, a few people have also done our skylight idea.
I was scrolling Reddit and I saw a build that looked like very similar, and I just messaged like, oh cool, like, you know, we did something similar, and they've responded and we're like, no, we got that idea from your video. What are the chances? They're like, whoa.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
was
pretty
pretty
cool
cool.
that like this idea I had in my head is now out there in other builds as well.
Yeah.
The door, the front door mod. Cole hates it. Cole didn't weld aluminum for like a year after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was such a stupid thing we did. Like,
Because house doors are 1.5 inches and our door was 1 inch. So we're
Yeah.
like, we need to add a 1/2 inch because we can't just take the solutions that are out there. We got to make up solutions that don't need to exist. We didn't need to do any of that because I made a different kind of solution for the door to lock that didn't require a keypad at all.
yeah,
Now we have a remote that can open and close the door. A real house door would be the way to go. The reason we didn't want to do a normal house door was because they swing wide
yeah,
and you can't see through them.
yeah. Maybe down the road we might switch
We
it
could
out
just,
for a house door.
yeah, we could just rip those doors off. We could still do that. It's just,
Yeah,
it's a sunken time fallacy. We put so much effort into those damn doors that we can't get rid of them now. It's the doors. We regret the doors.
yeah.
What are you thinking? Was it like the first year in when you thought it would take 6 months? Was it the second year in thinking it'd take 6 months? Is there a part in there where you started regretting it?
There's been a lot of times where, well, we both started regretting it. I feel like,
Well, the financials have become a bit of like a regret point.
yeah,
This was supposed to be a cheap alternative to van life.
yeah.
It's not really that budget. We don't know how to do anything cheap.
Which
because-
also is another question that we got. And the main reason why there's two main reasons why we got a schoolie instead of a van. One, because you can buy a schoolie or a school bus for $3,000, and like at minimum a van costs like, well, I don't know, $60,000.
like between like 30, maybe like 25 and like 100. Depends
Yeah.
on what you want and if it's new or used.
yeah, yeah,
There's a big range, but like the starting entry point cost for a van is much more. You're
Yeah.
almost immediately financing unless you have money saved up. And when we started, we hadn't any money saved up, so
yeah,
school bus was a much easier transition.
yeah. But in
Starting
the
point.
end, it's, like converting a much larger vehicle has turned to be a lot more expensive. So
We have so many friends on the internet who started with buses, and they all end up seeming to transition to a van at some point. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, when are we going to give up?
And that's also the second reason why we decided to go with a schoolie instead of a van, is because we wanted a little bit more space, because we want to live in this bus full time, so we needed a workspace as well. So
Yeah.
this sort of circles into a lot of different questions we
Yeah.
got. I think I've mentioned it maybe once or twice on our channel, but I'm actually a clothing designer, and so I can work on my clothing designs or home good designs while we're living in the bus. And so that's why we opted for a little bit more space instead of getting a van.
There's a major reason why when we were trying to figure out how to do a floor plan in a van, we just couldn't make it fit. It
Yeah.
just would not fit. Her freaking desk for clothing design could not. We're like, well, maybe the bed could lift with this fancy. No, we couldn't make
Yeah.
it work. So
Because in a van, it's more literally you're sleeping, eating, and working in the same space. Whereas in our bus, we sleep in the back, we work in the middle, and we like live and eat in the front. Like it's like there's actual sections to this bus.
yeah. Learn very quickly that neither of us will move on anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm a perfectionist.
We're both perfectionists, and I think that's why we butt heads a lot.
Yeah.
Is because every single little thing.
Well, it's a mixture between not communicating quite very well, while wanting it absolutely perfect. So
Yeah.
it's like we don't say. I'm not a good speaker. That's why she speaks for me half the time on these videos. I don't speak very well.
I feel like I don't speak very well either, but
Yeah, but you can like your brain stays on a path. I have horrible ADHD, and I'll like think of a thing and then go over it like I'm doing it right now. Anyways, where were we? I will not do it her way, and she will not do it my way.
and it's hard to compromise.
We hit a wall very often that, like, before building this van, it never had an issue because everything's light and easy and it's just normal everyday life stuff, you
Yeah.
know? No problem with that. But working on something that's kind of like your dream and, like, kind of giving half of the dream to someone and just trusting, you know, along the way that the details will be what you wanted.
Yeah.
We fight very often about stupid shit.
But we always make up.
I have no goal beyond the bus currently. Like, I just want to live in the bus. Like, I want to live on the road and just do my thing and go wherever.
Yeah.
And there's no real end point. There's no like timer for me, at least. I'm building this for the long term, kind of building it like it's my first house, you know?
It's kind of hard to say. At least a year, at least maybe a couple years, maybe even a few years. I actually have a dual citizenship. I'm also a German citizen, so maybe in the future we could like move to Europe and buy a van there, build out a van there, and travel Europe, and then go all over. Because from Europe you can go to Africa too, and go everywhere there and see even more of the world. So that might be a possibility, or we may want to settle down, or I don't know, like he always rolls his eyes, but I don't know.
Settle down and means give up. I ain't giving up.
But at least maybe having like a more permanent home base, like building out a tiny home and having some property or whatever. I don't know. That's like a 5-10 year plan. We're not thinking that far ahead. We're
kind of just testing the water, see if this is practical in the short term, and figuring out how to make money on the road, how to
live a nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah, how to do it but still be happy and feel like socially fulfilled. There's a lot of challenges to being on the road. It's hard to say how long, but we definitely don't have a set time.
Just have fun with it, and if this is something you really are passionate about, like, don't cut corners and like do it the right way, and really take your time with it. Don't set yourself to a specific timeline, because that was something that we really struggled with. Is like, you see all these people online pumping out a video a week with like all this progress, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, how are these people like even doing it this fast? Like,
do it at your own pace. Like, don't think it's going to take 6 months.
Yeah.
And don't think it's going to cost you $10,000.
Yeah. I guess like technical piece of advice is like, really plan out like everything that you want and need to live comfortably and be happy long term in your bus or van or whatever you're building. Like,
putting everything down on paper is really important too. I planned for years. I planned by watching countless videos and absorbing all this content and absorbing all these people's ideas.
Yeah.
But nothing started to move until I put it on paper. And I started to draw out floor plans, started actually making lists of products I'm going to need, get it out of my head, because my head was just filled with all this stuff, but all these unorganized thoughts don't get you anywhere.
That's pretty much all of our questions that we got. Thank you so much for everyone who asked a question and participated in our first Q&A. I feel like you guys probably know us a little bit better now. Mm-hmm. And if you have any more questions, we're always replying to all of our comments in all of our videos. So
yeah, except for BMS questions. I will not respond to "Where's the BMS?" in the starter bus or starter battery video. I'm sorry. Shut up. Bye-bye. Good night.
I'm thirsty.
I'm sorry, our plumbing isn't good yet. Maybe by the next video.
I'm gonna lick the windows for moisture.